Like I did just get music from Marieke. Is that how I pronounce your name?
Marika, which is close
Marika.
to Mary, so
Gotcha. And that's your preferred, you like going by Marika?
yes.
Awesome. And then I know Mary sent me the Strauss, so I have that. So who would like to start? Mary, are you ready to start? Awesome. I'm really looking forward to hearing you sing the Strauss. But just before we start, tell me a little bit about where you are musically right now. Are you in school? Are you out of school?
Yeah, so I'm studying music education actually at Westminster Choir College. But I'm like actively involved in the opera department and different like opera related performing opportunities there. I'm a junior currently, so I'll be looking at graduate schools in the following year.
Next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So you're planning on going to grad school. You'll be
Yeah.
auditioning next year.
Mhm.
And what kind of music are you the most passionate about?
Well, I guess it like obviously I have like preferred I love like certain composers. Like I really like Ravel, I really like Strauss. I like Mozart even though his music is arguably the most difficult for me. I sing a lot of Mozart though, so it's like I like singing Mozart even though it's difficult and uh
It's a good challenge.
yeah, it's a good challenge and it's really rewarding and I feel so like yeah, it's like really satisfying after you massage all the kinks out, you know.
Definitely. So what are some of your Mozart arias that your teacher's given to you? Just
Well, so we're currently working on Achillete
mhm.
um from the abduction and but that's more of a technical we're working on it technically. I'm not
Mhm.
performing it
Mhm.
publicly.
Mhm.
I performed Despina in this semester's performance of Così.
Oh wow, great.
Um,
You did the whole role?
I didn't do the whole role. Well, we also cut all of the recit because
Mhm.
of the way it works over Zoom, the way it works virtually. It's
Oh wow, you did
well,
virtually.
recit's just so difficult to do virtually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great
But
though. It's great experience.
yeah, yeah, no, it was very fun. I'm trying to think about it. When it comes to I'm doing Mozart's Exultate Jubilate for my senior recital.
Great. Oh, awesome. Awesome piece. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super
Well, that's
fun.
great. It just gives me a little sense of, the voice type and what your teacher is giving you and I'm excited to hear the Strauss. Have you sung a lot of Strauss?
Well, yeah, I'm doing I'm learning his whole Brentano leader
Awesome.
um, for my senior recital. I'm trying to think about other. I have other Johann Strauss that I'm learning in the future. Well, actually, Die Nacht I think is still Richard Strauss.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very different, the
Yeah,
styles.
right.
Yeah.
but but I've saw yeah, and so not a ton of Strauss, but I'm kind of getting my hands dirty in a little bit of Strauss.
Yeah. And so in this piece, before you sing it all the way through, tell me some of the things you're working through on it. Is it new? Is it, where are you in your process with this piece?
So it's basically at this point a lot of fine tuning. I think
Okay.
I've known this piece for a couple months now. I learned it maybe in November, um, and I've used it for my pre-screenings, but I want
Mhm.
to use it for college auditions.
Mhm.
So at this point, it's like a lot of well, I guess you can be the judge of like what needs to be fixed and what
Of
doesn't.
course, of
Yeah.
course. So that's great. I mean, it's good to know. You just started working on it in November. It's relatively new, I would say. But of course, you've used it for your pre-screenings, and let's go ahead and hear it, and then dive in. I'm so excited for all the German rep today because that's my favorite language to sing in.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic! Yeah.
so yeah, and you'll notice I'm looking up a lot, but I'm just looking at the music on my big screen so that I can still see you nice and big too. So
Absolutely.
I promise I am looking at you when I look up.
No worries, no worries.
So whenever you're ready, a cappella or with a track, either way is
Yeah,
totally
I
fine.
have a track.
Great.
It's by my accompanist Kiko Hosaki.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. Whenever you're ready, just take your time.
Oh, is it not? There we go.
Beautiful. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the right rep for you. And, very accurate, very good German, accurate rhythms, accurate pitch. I mean, so it's in great shape. So we're ready to just take it to the next level. I don't know how you feel. And sometimes, students that are about at your kind of level, you're in school, you're still an undergraduate, and you're learning music, and you're really focusing on the perfection, kind of like, I want to get it right, right?
Yeah.
But there's probably like, what are some things about some of your favorite singers? What are the things that you like about your favorite singers? Is it the accuracy? Is it like that everything is right, or is there more to it? What would you say is like your favorite singer that you hear singing this? I don't know who that
Oh my
is. It could
goodness. That's like definitely that's a tricky question because I think about that all the time. Like, what do I like about certain
be. Yeah.
singers? And I'll even listen to singers of other voice types because I think that like they also have a lot to offer other
Mhm.
like sopranos like me who sing higher rep.
Yeah.
I think like some things I like about certain singers, like I mean the one off the top of my head is Isabel Leonard, even though she's still like so young and like
Hmm.
freshly in the industry, is that her voice is like it's like the way that she expels the music out of her mouth is just like butter, and it's like and it's like so every like she has a specific intent behind everything she
Hmm.
and then not to say that other singers don't, but that's just the one that's coming to mind right now, even though like she doesn't sing any of my rep. I just like listen to her just like
The
um
expression.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then another one is Fisher D. who's
Hmm.
he sings a lot of German. I always listen to his German because it's like
Hmm.
he also his German is so even though like he is a native speaker, I listen to a lot of his stuff when I try to look for, especially because I think for me specifically in my German journey, I'll call it, especially with
Hmm.
diction, it sometimes can get choppy. And I think
Hmm.
he has like such a great way of connecting and using the language to his
The
advantage.
legato. Yeah.
Um,
And so for you, just this is kind of like just like a mental kind of question. Like, what stops you from going there, from going to where those like, and not that you have to be like those artists because you're your own person, you're your own singer, but like, what if we tried it where you went to the utmost extreme of expression
okay.
and just see what happens? And even if you feel like, because what I find is that students often are like, I didn't know I was allowed to do that. It's like, yeah, you can. Heilige Nacht. Why not? Just give it the utmost expression. Forget about the words and the rhythms, and just go that extra step because you have the notes and rhythms, so you can just totally ignore it at this point. And we might
Okay.
play. We might play with some technical things too. Like, do you feel tired after you sing this?
Um,
Sometimes.
I guess like if I'm singing this alone, no. Like right now, I like could sing it over, but I think like
Mhm.
especially by the end with the climax, I think maybe I could
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
strain a little bit.
Yeah, I did notice maybe there was just like a little bit of like fatigue at the end, and we might be able to just look at a couple things that might make it vocally easier. But I think in general, because it's already in such a strong place, just go that extra mile with the expression.
Mhm.
And it's not about copying other artists. It's about like, what did they do that's good, and what is that? Is it's a phrasing thing. It's a and at the end of the day, you want to connect. You want to, yeah, just sing your beautiful sound and
Mhm.
don't let the accuracy of it get in the way of that. So let's just actually with the piano, because maybe we'll sing like a page or two of it, and you go to the utmost extreme of expression, and I guarantee it's not going to be too much. But let's
Okay.
just try it and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I think I have a good spot where I'll just stop whenever. Okay.
Okay.
Heilige Nacht, heilige Nacht, sterngeschlossener Himmelsfrieden. Alles, was das Licht geschieden ist, vergonnen. Alle Freuden bluten süß im Abendrot.
we stop there? Okay, so that's like really awesome.
Yeah.
And also, it's like the technical stuff was just as good, if not better. And isn't it more fun?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like when you get on stage, the ultimate thing is like, I just want to, communicate and make these people happy or
Mhm.
make them feel something. It doesn't have to be happiness. Make them feel something.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So that's my one comment to you is just to take this piece. That's my first comment rather, is to
Uh-huh.
take this piece to that level. Just be an artist. Be an artist, especially with Strauss, because you can. And basically, if you want some sort of like little technical things that kind of make that easier, I think singing into the long notes more, leaning so that you can float shorter notes. Like the very
Yeah.
first phrase. I think one of the hardest things about this is Liga. It makes it sound like Liga. Heilige Nacht. You have to give more to high and give more to Nacht. Stern geschlossene. And so when there's a long note, like a dotted quarter, alles was das Licht. So it's really that, just going to the nth degree with that. Let's do it a cappella once, and then we'll kind of work through the piece. So here's your G. Heilige Nacht, heilige Nacht, sterngeschlossener Himmelsfriede, alles was das Licht geschieden ist, verbunden, yeah, it's really in such a good place already. I think when you get up top, sometimes when you get into your passaggio area, like E and F, it's a little bit, it gets a little tiny bit airy. Like there's a little
Uh-huh.
extra air coming through the chords. I don't know if that's something you work on with your teacher.
Yeah. Well, again, my passaggio, like I feel like it changes daily. So it's sometimes it's
Yeah.
just a thing I have to work through. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what is your current thought on your passaggio? How do you work through it in your own
So
practice?
yeah, and so my teacher is really big into kinesthetics.
Mhm.
So it's almost like you need a lot more support and air when it comes to like we kind of think of it as like the hourglass type thing where like the middle is like you really have to um force your way force is a horrible word for it,
Yeah.
but like and ultimately like during when I like warm up it's like almost like you have to find where that is and just like make sure that it's like you really are aware of like what your support is doing while you're through it. It's like it's a work in progress, so it's like we're still
Yeah.
working on it.
So, and without, because of course, take this all with a grain of salt, and at the end of the day, do what your teacher says. But you may want to try simplifying your idea of the passaggio a little bit. Because I just noticed it basically when you started singing the Alle Wunden, and then the Abendrot, because it's right on that E flat and E natural. So try this. And I think the hourglass approach is interesting and can help us in a way because it's like if your passaggio's the thinner part, it's like how do you get through a hallway that, has gotten really narrow? Well, you have to kind of get taller and skinnier.
Yeah.
And so let's do that with the vowel. And it's
Mhm.
not going to be a smaller or squeezed vowel. It's just going to be taller. And in some ways, you can round, depending on what the vowel is. Here, alle, you're going to go all nice and tall, like almost an open O there.
Uh-huh.
And then Abendrot, same thing. So instead of we have ah. It's a very subtle shift from like ah to oh, but it really helps. It doesn't make you feel like you have to squeeze. It just
Yeah.
slightly changes the shape of your pharynx so that
Oh.
passaggio area feels easier. So let's go into that though. Oh, because we have F flats before that. So let's sing the alles was das Licht. So alles was. Yeah, right from there. Alles was das Licht geschieden that verbunden. It sounds easy for you, but I think it's going to lock in a little bit more with better overtones if we do that same thing. We're going to round it a little bit. So, das ist fa instead of fa. Yeah, fa instead of fa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to try it? I mean, again, take it with a grain of salt if it doesn't work for you, but let's just try. Gashi, gashi. Yeah, to me, it got rid of that extra air.
Yeah, I love that.
Does it feel good? Doesn't it feel kind of nice? Once you're in that part of your voice, if you sing, I mean, I had an Italian teacher once tell me to sing everything through an O lens, which is a little simplified because you can't do everything from an O lens, but really in that area you kind of can because it just feels good. It makes it so you don't struggle through the passaggio anymore. You could just live there all day because you're singing oh, and it's great. So let's do that again. Gashi, gashi, how did those E's and the E flat feel?
That felt amazing, actually.
Good.
I thought it felt like more relaxed, definitely. So that was definitely very helpful. Thank you.
Good. And yeah, play with that like all the way up through F sharp even. If you're a really high soprano, you might feel that up through G, but in your voice you might feel it up just through F or F sharp. And then once you get out of the passaggio, you can brighten back up again. So it's not really like you have to sing really dark or anything, your whole range, but it just, that slight rounding, and then once you get back up there, you can again instead of so it's just, I like to teach sopranos that little trick because it feels a little bit like a simpler solution for something that can be kind of too convoluted, like more pressure, more support, more blah blah. It's like, we'll just sing a different vowel, and then it's actually easier. So now let's go back to this idea of more expression. Whenever you have two notes that are tied, lean into that first one a little bit more. Sorry. Wow, I can't read music today. So it's almost like you're giving a little bit of length to the first one. You've got lots of those. So every time you have that instinct that there's, it's like on a downbeat usually. It's such a Strauss thing. So one more time, geschieht.
Okay, yeah.
Geschieden ist verbunden, Bluten süß im Abendrot. Yeah, you could probably go even more closed on Abendrot.
Okay,
more closer. That was gorgeous. Wow. It just takes it to the next level. And why not? Just be an artist. You don't have to just be a machine of good pitches and accurate rhythms. You can really take it to the next level. Awesome. I loved the alle Wunden. And then when we have words like Wunden, where the last syllable is unaccented, you don't have to come off it so much, but just give more to the next syllable. That way it won't sound accented.
Oh, okay.
For example, like Wunden blue, Wunden blue. That way it doesn't sound like den blue. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, absolutely. That makes sense.
So let's go from alle on this E natural.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you did great. You did great. I loved it. The Wunden sounded like Wunden now instead of Wunden. Yeah. And then you can do the same thing when you get Bluten Süß. So sing into Zeus a little more so that the 10 doesn't sound so accented. Let's do Bluten. Bluten süß im I like that more closed. Oh, nice. Let's keep going. Good. Another thing we can explore is this idea of just, even though the different pitches in the registers feel different, obviously, but sometimes we use the same amount of air in the middle than we do at the top, and we don't need to. So one thing you can try, just to ease up your air in the middle voice a little bit, is doing it on a V. And it kind of just trains you on how much air you really need. And then if you kind of sing on that air afterwards, you'll notice that it's easier when you jump books. It's instead of overworking the lower note. So why don't you sing this little phrase here, what you just sang, starting on biel and on a V, like a buzzy, right on the lips V. Good. So what I heard, it was actually really, really good. What I heard was a big drop. So keep it in the same place. And you'll find that in order to do that, you have to lighten your air a lot on that low note. Keep the resonance the same, but lighten the air. Let's try that.
Oh wait, what was the starting note?
So I'm starting in a really weird place, but I'm starting on the high G, just because there's that octave down.
Oh yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And now can you actually sing Herz der Trunken on the text right there? Out of time, whatever. Don't worry about rhythm, but just with that idea in mind.
Okay. Yay!
That was beautiful. That was beautiful because what you're doing is you're seaming together all the registers instead of like two different feelings, two different sounds. It was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, that
Lightening
was so
up. Yeah, so sing through the whole thing on a V, just because there might be other places like that where you kind of fall down and then you have to fight to get back up. But if everything's just up, of course, there's body to your sound too, and you're using your low muscles and your nice open throat. But in terms of resonance, it can all just stay in that kind of V space, and that helps to seam together the registers. So now I want to hear that whole phrase with that idea of that V resonance.
Okay.
Here's your E flat, G, C. Good. And as a general rule in German, I know we have to wrap up and move on to the next singer, but as a general rule, whenever you have a word that starts in German with a vowel, just give a little breath lift. Trunkenen Erde instead of trunkenen Erde. It's just a clarity thing. It makes it more clear what the word is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Can we try that? Der trunkenen Erde.
Yeah. Der trunkenen Erde.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh my gosh, the time went by so fast.
I
want to hear. Can I just hear one more phrase? Die mitselige.
Yeah.
Die mitselige.
Die mitselige
It's gorgeous, and it's going to be more gorgeous if we just do the same exact thing we did before, which was... Actually, try this. Oh, so A flat, not A. You're going to start with a V on the bottom so you get that lightness and that ease. So the presence is coming from your resonance, not from extra pressing of air. And then blossom into the high A flat. like that.
I like that too. Oh my gosh. This
Yeah,
is such a nice tool. Thank you so much for telling me that.
Yeah, of course. The V is like, oh my gosh. I have my students just do V all day. It's so great.
Oh my gosh.
It keeps you healthy. It keeps you healthy. And it's not that you're just making a small sound. It's just you still have an open throat when you do it. Just makes it easy to pop into those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So let's leave it at that. So the V, be letting yourself, get out of this cage of accuracy and like really, sing the phrases, and be as expressive as you want to be. It's much easier to rope someone in than to get, them to be more expressive, and you've got it in you.
Thank
So
you
this
so
V,
much.
and then just the roundness in the passaggio, the E flat, E and F.
Thank you so much.
Gorgeous.
That was so helpful. I really appreciate it.
Such a joy to work with you. We can be in touch. You can always shoot me an email. I'm easy to find online. So yeah, lovely to hear you. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Mary.
Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch. Thanks.
Yes, absolutely. And Marika is next.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So good to meet you virtually.
Good
and
to meet
I've
you
got
too.
your music here, the Kurt Weill. So tell me a little bit about your musical journey, like where you are. Are you in school, out of school?
So I'm currently a senior at DePaul University.
Great.
And in terms of music, very classical background, very much in opera. So this piece is not really within my normal stylistic genre,
Yeah,
which is
right,
part of
gotcha.
why I wanted to bring it in, because I have practically no experience singing like musical theater or like, I know this isn't musical theater, but at least it's not the typical opera.
The style is very influenced by musical theater. Yeah, it's that very cabaret kind of sound. So this is a perfect piece to do if you're trying to sort of, explore that. So that's great.
Yes.
Awesome. So tell me just a little bit about your journey with the piece. When did you start looking at it?
It's quite new. I was putting together my graduation recital program, and I'm doing a Hollander piece, An allem sind die Juden schuld. And I was looking for something else German, because it's like a more like satirical political set, but I only had that one German, and so my teacher recommended this as a addition to that. And then I liked it, so I added it, but it's very new. Like I think maybe 2 weeks or something.
So super fresh. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
fresh.
Awesome. And looking at the range, you may want to check out some of Seven Deadly Sins, Anna's music, if you're doing something kind of political, because that's got some really cool stuff in there too. It maybe just even for your own interest, just to listen. But
Okay.
great. So yeah, let's hear it whenever you're ready, and then we'll talk about it.
Sure. Okay. Let me know if the volume is weird.
Yeah, I know this virtual world is so bogus, isn't it?
Yeah. Here goes. Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen, im hellen Mittag ein Zug. Vorn eine Trommel und hinten eine Fahn, in der Mitte einen Sarg man trug. Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen, im hundertjährigen Staub, da trugen Sechse einen Sarg mit Helm und Eichenlaub, und auf dem
Yay, great job. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's in a great place. I think it's great for your voice. Tell me a little bit, what are some of the other pieces of rep that you do? What are some arias that you do?
Um, a lot. I just sang Fior di Ligi, the whole role.
Okay.
I sang Dido. I'm working on Queen of the Night for the summer.
Oh my gosh, you're all over
Um,
the place. You're like,
yeah.
but you classify as a lyric soprano? Or are you kind of
I
figuring that
don't
out?
classify.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
sing what feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. Um, and I think, I ask because it was going to slightly affect how I would talk about like chest voice stuff, because it can feel different in a mezzo voice than a soprano voice. But I think you can probably do a little bit more chest voice. Do you play with that, bringing your chest voice just up a little bit more? Not like belting this whole piece, obviously, because that
Yeah.
won't feel good, but just maybe up through the E's and even sometimes maybe the F's.
I haven't, I mean, my my teacher tends to want me to not do things in chest
Uh
unless
huh.
there's absolutely no other way to get it out.
Mm,
But I've wanted to explore it more because oftentimes some of the rap that I sing, I would hear other singers do it, but then I'm not, I'm still kind of learning. I mean, Fior di Ligi kind of was the first thing I did that really needed chest voice. So
mm-hmm.
over the past few months, I've kind of been developing that. So yeah, I
Yeah, I
I'd
see.
love to learn more.
Yeah, I mean, I am of the like chest voice is good, standpoint, and especially in Kurdvaya. I mean, why not? So let's just play with it, because again, you can throw it out the window if you want to, continue working and solidifying this technique of bringing your head voice down more. But I wonder, and so I think in certain repertoire, I have a student right now that actually also went to DePaul, Lauren Florek. Were you at school at the
Oh
same time?
yes, yes, I
Okay.
know her very well.
Yeah, and so it's similar kind of thing where head voice goes down really, really, really low. But as we practice
She
her
was with
bringing,
my teacher actually.
well, there you go. It's so interesting. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not, but the thing is, like, she's now playing with other styles. She's playing with musical theater and some other styles, and as we bring her chest voice up a little bit, it's not changing the quality of her low head voice. It's just that now it's an extra skill, right? And so that's kind of
Yes.
where my thinking is with that. Um, and and so I would encourage you to maybe try, not drastic, like bringing it all the way up, a fifth or something, but maybe just a step by step. So let's sing a cappella a little bit and just play with that idea of maybe um, bringing in a little bit the speakiness of it. So here's your zu Potsdam. And do you speak German, by the way? Because you've got great
Uh, I
German.
mean, I've studied German, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and the interesting thing too about this piece is like there's like a sung technique for classical German, which has like more of the sort of flipped R. But you're singing kind of that cabaret kind of technique of, like, do you listen to Lotte Lenya sing? Have you heard her sing? Or Marlene
Um,
Dietrich? Some of these kind of cabaret
I
singers.
Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of cabaret, but I don't know, I spend so much time learning how to do the R's, like I'm gonna use it every chance I get.
Yeah, I mean, the way you're singing the R's actually sounds a lot like kind of how I would hear Marlene Dietrich or Lotte Lenya. And so that's totally a valid way to do it. Just know that it is slightly different from how you would approach it, like in the classical sense of having a little bit more of the
Yes.
flipped R as opposed to the sort of like back.
Yes.
But keep doing what you're doing because it sounds really good. So let's just sing a cappella from the beginning.
Okay. And would you like me to play around with the chest voice?
Well, sing it the way you
Um,
sang it first, and then we'll play
okay.
once I hear. Sing
Okay.
that very first phrase, and then we'll play.
Sure. Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen, im hellen Mittag ein Zug.
Good. Can you actually speak it for me in
Sure.
your normal speaking voice? Zu
Yes.
Potsdam unter den Eichen. Just
Yes.
natural. Try
Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen, im hellen Mittag ein Zug.
Yeah, I would go even more into your natural speaking voice, and you don't have to put it up here. Just zu Potsdam unter, right there.
Okay. Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen, im hellen Mittag ein Zug.
That is so much more powerful. That's great. If you could just put pitches on that, what happens if you just put the pitches right there?
Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen, im hellen Mittag ein Zug.
I like it. I like it. And I know it didn't feel much different in terms of head voice, chest voice, but it was just in a speakier place.
Yes.
Which is nice. So, and if you want to play with the head and chest voice, let's just do a quick exercise. How about we start here? Oh, we're going to do a yodel up the octave. Oh, can you try that?
Okay.
Yeah, like you kind of throw your sound out and you let the break happen where it naturally happens. But that very first octave is a nice yodel from head to chest. Let's bring it up a little bit.
Sorry.
Good. Yeah, there's a lot more color in your sound now. It's less like, oh, I'm trying to stay in head voice. It's like right here. And that's kind of where this song can lie. So let's take that up a couple more. Good. Okay, good. So how does that feel in the chest voice? Does it feel forced or does it feel good on the bottom there?
Those last two felt a little more like there was tension, but it's also unfamiliar, so...
Yeah, unfamiliar
might just
territory.
be...
Yeah, and so in this first phrase here, zu Potsdam und, how about we just add it on the C?
Okay. Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen, im hellen Mittag ein Zug.
Yeah, and the key to having that chest voice feel good is having it live in the same place. Like, of course, head to chest is a switch that happens here. You use a different muscle. You know, there's like the heavier muscle, that TA muscle, and then you switch and it's this lighter muscle. So yes, it is a switch here, but in terms of the resonance, it should stay the same, and that'll help you not feel like it's zu Potsdam, oh, but zu Potsdam, oh. You know what I mean? So it's still living in that sort of behind the nose resonance. One more time.
Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen,
Good.
im hellen Mittag ein Zug. Vorn eine Trommel und hinten eine Fahne, in der Mitte einen Sargmann trug.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Mitte einen Sargmann trug. And if you listen to like Lotte Lenya, you can get the sense of the style because it's a lot of sliding. Da 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 dee da da. And that's A-okay. So can we actually, do you want to try that phrase a little bit more speaky, even on the D flats and E flats, if it feels comfortable? So
Sure.
we got, in der Mitte einen Sarg, right there.
Sorry, can I have that E?
Yeah, sorry, the E flat.
In der Mitte einen Sargmann trug.
I like it. Does it feel, it's just a little bit more musical theater-y, you know?
Yeah.
and of course with Kurt Weill you get these chances to flip into your head voice and show that off too, you know. But I think when you're down there, in dem mit einen Zargmann trug, I think totally appropriate. So now we get to switch, right? Zu Potsdam. So let's keep going.
Zu Potsdam unter den Eichen im hundertjährigen Staub, da trugen Sechse einen Sarg mit Helm und Eichenlaub.
Good. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. So the one thing is these leaps down. I want to just look at those. Let's look. Im hundertjahr, yeah. It's jährigen, right? Because we've got an umlaut there. Jährigen Staub. Can we take that a little slower there just to make sure we're really getting a nice connection between the B flat and the D?
Im hundertjährigen Staub.
Yeah, it's like a little bit approximated on the D, that's all. Regen, Regen. And you can even do a little chest on the D, but keep it in the same place. Regen. Try that.
Regenstaub.
I love it. I love it. And of course, you're not going to accent it, but Regenstaub, Regenstaub.
Regenstaub. And I defaulted back.
Yeah, I know. It's hard because it's a process. You're not going to be able to do it overnight, but it's something to, yeah.
Regenstaub.
Good. And what if you did Regenstaub? What if you actually stayed there in the E flat?
Okay. Regenstaub.
I think your chest voice sounds great. I like it. And again, we're not pushing you all the way up, you know, to G's, but like I think at least, you know, through the E's that could really work. Now can we tie it together? Im hundertjährigen Staub.
Im hundertjährigen Staub.
Good. Let's keep going. And as long as you have that high palate too, you know, even that'll help your chest voice too to feel more connected to your head voice. Sure. So let's keep going.
Da trugen Sechse einen Sarg.
Einen Sarg. Let's try. Einen Sarg.
Da trugen Sechse einen Sarg.
I love it. I know it feels weird, but it sounds great. It sounds stronger, you know. And of course, in certain arias or art songs, you wouldn't switch there. But I think for this, sounds great. We'll keep going.
Okay. Mit Helm und Eichenlaub und auf dem Sarge mit Männige Rot, da war geschrieben ein Reim. Die Buchstaben sahen hässlich aus, jedem Krieger sein Heim.
Good. Now give a good chest voice.
Jedem Krieger sein Heim.
And just so you know, you have options there. You could do jedem Krieger sein Heim. You could try to keep that all in that place. Do you want to try that?
Jedem Krieger sein Heim.
For your voice, you want to try switching on the E flat, just as an experiment. I like what you did, but just to see what options you have. Jedem Krieger sein Heim. Or whatever the notes are.
Jedem Krieger sein Heim.
That was my fault. I sang the wrong notes.
No, I did, because there are different versions of it.
Yeah.
Jedem Krieger sein Heim.
And then the just as a fun little thing you can take away and practice. Let's see. We're gonna take it down a step actually. Let's do head, chest, head. Yeah, so by that last one, you had a little smoother transition. So the key is to keep the larynx kind of relaxed down low in the shift. So if your larynx goes, then it'll go right. But if you do if you keep that larynx kind of stable, and then almost imagine the sound goes up for the chest voice into that snorty area. That helps that transition. You want to try that? Yeah. So I know it feels really like exposed, and it's like, oh my god, but you did it. You did it. Yeah. So you basically let the muscle change here, but then everything else is supporting like a classical technique in a way. That same resonance, same space. Try it again. Yes, that was it. That was great. And that's kind of what you would take that idea and do. Krieger sein. Why can't I? Krieger sein Heim. You do that same thing. As soon as you get into chest, you just kind of like lift into the snort and let the shift happen. Let's try that.
Jedem Krieger sei... Nah, wrong one. Jedem Krieger seine Heim.
Sein Heim. Try that.
Seine Heim.
Yeah. This is just a tool you can keep working to get that smooth. But you can also do it even on one note. You can go, this is on an E. And play with different techniques of like how to keep your air moving through it as you're shifting from head to chest. And noticing what your larynx is doing, what your resonance is doing, and all that. Good. Let's keep going. Das
wird zum Gedenken an manchen toten Mann, geboren in der Heimat, gefallen am Schmadedamm.
I love it. You're so strong up there. It's really glorious. Let's keep going. I have nothing to say.
Gekrochen einst mit Herz und Hand dem Vaterland auf den Leim, ballend mit dem Sarge vom Vaterland, jedem Krieger sein Heim.
Yeah. So I lied. I actually do have one thing to say. I think it's technically, you're so strong in that part of your range. And yeah, we have to wrap up in 2 minutes. I would say here, especially because you're so free up here, go with the words a little bit more. So, das wird so we're going to emphasize, and again, like Kurt Weill can be a little soupy sometimes in a way that's, of course you don't want to overdo it, but you want to try that? Just like kind of what we did with Mary, where you kind of go to the nth degree with expression and just see what's possible. Das wird
zum Gedenken an manchen toten Mann, geboren in der Heimat.
Yeah, so even there, geboren, we want that second syllable to come out more. Let's try that.
Geboren in der Heimat, gefallen am Schmadedamm, gekrochen einst mit Herz und Hand dem Vaterland auf den Leim, ballend mit dem I do.
Yeah. So, and in general, especially with and this goes for Kurt Weill, this goes for Handel, this goes for everything. Not all eighth notes or quarter notes are the same. So I think when you start to get a lot of repetition, you can say like, well, what is really happening here? Do I have to sing these as like eighth notes, or are they just kind of you know what I mean? So they don't all have the same length in a way. You kind of were already doing that a little on that Zarge phrase. Let's try right there.
Belebt mit dem Sarge vom Vaterland, jedem Krieger sein Heim.
Keep going.
So zogen sie durch Potsdam für den Mann am Schmadedamm. Da kam die Kriegel-Polizei und heute sie zusammen.
Very good. Is that supposed to be heute or haute? I have maybe a missing umlaut on mine.
I've heard it as heute.
Yeah, I think it's
But
probably
it's-
heute, but maybe it's
I
got a
will
missing
double
umlaut.
check it.
Yeah, just double check that. Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, I find that when singers do embrace their chest voice, sopranos specifically, in D and below, and even up to E flat, sometimes E, it makes the high voice stronger because it's just connected to this more core. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, no, thank you. This is like it feels like every time I work on a new part of my range, it's like I have to learn how to walk all over again. It's like
I
baby
know.
steps,
Yeah.
patience, new territory, but this is
Well,
really
you
helpful. Thank
you have
so
a
much.
very strong, beautiful voice, and you're gonna do lots of awesome stuff with it. So yeah, I mean, maybe the next chapter for you is playing with that chest voice a little bit more.
Yes.
But I love it. It sounds great, and your recital sounds really interesting. So great to
Thank
hear
you so
you.
much. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. We do have a question from Mary.
Yeah.
She says, I see that you used a lot of both operatic and musical theater vocal techniques, which is really impressive. At Bard/Longy, do you teach both musical theater and opera? What are your students singing?
Yeah, at Longy, we have this philosophy that singers, the individual artist should do whatever they want to do. So we have singers that come and really focus on musical theater. We have singers that come and focus on opera. And we try to create opportunities for all of these things. We also have very little barrier between like the historical performance, jazz, contemporary, and classical vocal studies. So like a student of mine is a great classical singer, but that also, instead of doing classical chamber music, does jazz and contemporary chamber music. And we do at least one or more musical theater pieces, and we have a Broadway class. And so there is a lot of musical theater starting to happen at Longy as we start to expand our mission to include like all of the genres, everything. We want singers to encompass versatility and yeah. And so there are a few of us that really do both, and some that kind of focus more on a specific style. But yeah, I've always found a connection between the techniques, and I love teaching musical theater to classical singers, and vice versa. Teaching classical music to musical theater to singers is really fun too. So yeah, there's opportunities at Longy for all of it. Like this year, we're doing a stage song cycle that's kind of like a pop indie musical theater song cycle with a full band, drums, bass, guitar, and then we also have our full opera at the same time. So students are some of them are involved in both, some of them are doing one, but yeah, and hopefully we'll continue that kind of into next year, doing a musical and an opera. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Sorry, I went over time a little bit.
No worries. Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, everyone. This has been so great. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you to those who sang. This was wonderful. Have a great day.
I'm just I'm gonna put my email into the chat box real quick,
Great.
just in case anyone wants to keep in touch. It's also easy to find online. But yeah, great to hear you, Mary and Marika, and thanks everyone else for watching, and thank you, Jessica, for helping.
Of course. Bye, everyone.
Bye.